Experts predict that without urgent action, 6 in 10 adults and a third of youngsters will be overweight or obese by 2025. Many people are turning to weight loss jabs to help, but should we prioritise weight loss jabs for teens? Is it a case of getting ahead of this obesity curve, Jane, and starting at the teenage years? Is that the next step?
I wouldn't advocate that for teens at all, no. I mean, if a child or a teen is morbidly obese, then absolutely, but it goes through their GP, you know, it's monitored, it's done in a small period of time, etc. But if we're going to have a situation where suddenly teens can routinely get these weight loss drugs as easily as a lot of adults can, absolutely not. You know, we need to be educating in schools about healthier diet and you know, bring back cookery for everybody, healthy meal planning, etc. And we need to clamp down. I keep banging on about this every time, but clamp down on the food industry. You've got this situation where the food industry is selling you highly processed food full of sugar, fat, salt, whatever, far too much of it. Then you've got Big Pharma selling you something that takes all the weight off of that. We need something in the middle where you're going, hang on, guys, there's another option here.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. And I wouldn't, I mean, I'd like to feel I had exhausted all options before you'd have to consider something like this.
Like I say, you know, teenagers have enough to deal with anyway at that time of their life. I mean, young girls are starting their periods as early as 10, and they say that's something to do with the fact that, you know, is what they're putting into the food to begin with, whether it's the antibiotics, just to make the food look plumper and fresher and all of that. So it is the industry that puts the food out there into supermarkets, not enough healthy choices. And for, you know, a lot of teenagers, there's so much pressure on sort of looking a certain way as it is, whether it's makeup, whether it's their figure, and then you get anorexia. So the last thing they want to be put under that pressure of again, you know, unless it's a medical issue that they're dealing with, is that, oh, you can't possibly look like that. And if you're not prepared to exercise, just take this jab. I think it's a dangerous territory.
Yeah, I think it is dangerous. And I think, I mean, it's the way they say it at the minute, adolescents aged over 12 can be eligible for certain weight loss drug, but they have to have a serious weight issue. You have to go through all of the guidelines. There has to be a lot of medical intervention and doctor's appointments and prescribed properly. And that's the way it should be, probably for everybody, to be fair. We know that it's changing a lot and it's becoming much more accessible for everyone now. It seems to be, everyone's talking about it.
Young children are able to get hold of vapes when they shouldn't be. So surely, you know, there's that kind of gap in the market where even though the law says not under 18, that children are going to be able to get hold of these things. That's the danger.
Exactly. It's just, again, you just hate the idea of having to, your child, it's like a medication, isn't it? Like it's a proper medicine. And you're like, what? There has to be other things to do. And we're being flooded with information right now, which is interesting. We all have phones and mobiles and television. All of the information is there supposedly on healthy recipes, exercises. You can follow people online, and yet we're dealing with a bigger problem than we ever have done.
Yeah, I think it's weird. There does seem to be so much more information, but we still seem to be in this same situation. I think if anyone is put on it, it should come with like a dietitian and learning more. You know, a bit like if you're on antidepressants, I feel like you should have therapy as well. Like it's not just one and then you deal with the issue on your own to make it work in the long term. I think it'd be really scary to put your kid on something that's going to have side effects and things like that. But also, I think we need to remember that for some people it is an issue, and no matter what they do, they are unable to lose the weight for one reason or another. So it's a really tricky one.
And do everything in conjunction, hopefully, with your GP, isn't it? That is the way forward.